Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Today we're going to be checking out two very cool devices. We have the Mi 11 Ultra versus the S21 Ultra right here. So I've been using this device here for almost 3 weeks now, and yeah, it's been quite a while. And in this video, it's just going to be a very quick comparison at the experience I've been facing after using this device for quite a bit. So before I share that with you, I just want to let you know that I've been using the S21 Ultra before this for quite a while as well, and now I've actually pretty much shifted to the Mi 11 Ultra as my daily driver. So this is not going to be super technical, it's just going to be sharing of my personal experience on what I've been experiencing with this device here over that 3 weeks and whether or not it's worth the price difference. Alright, let's start off with the price since we're on that note. This device right here is coming in Malaysia for about RM4299. And the S21 Ultra right here is RM5299. So that's a 1,000 ringgit price difference, which is pretty huge regardless of wherever you are in the world. So the pricing will differ based on your regions, and I'll put the price down there. And both devices actually support 5G, so you're pretty much future-proof in that sense. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about that design and build quality. We've already seen tons of videos showing this design and all that, but yeah, let's talk a little bit about that back. On the Mi 11 Ultra, we do have a ceramic back, whereas on the back here, it is a glass back panel, a very smooth and matte-ish one. Which do you prefer? You tell me, because personally, I'm pretty much grown to this back panel right here. It does capture a lot of fingerprints, but I kind of like this fully blacked out mirror look. I mean, the S21 Ultra looks great as well with this very stealthy, matte black kind of thing. It really depends on your personal opinion on which you prefer, but I would say that both devices here looks excellent in my opinion. Alright, so we're going to flip the device to the front here and talk a little bit about those displays. So naturally, we have awesome displays on both devices right here. In fact, they're almost very similar in size as well, but like I said, we're not going to go over the numbers for this in terms of just day-to-day use and watching a lot of videos, taking a lot of photos, and just playing games on these devices right here. I must say that both devices have excellent displays. There is absolutely nothing to complain about here. They both have great viewing angles. Obviously, the Mi 11 Ultra is slightly brighter in broad daylight, so if you're under very strong sunlight, the Mi 11 Ultra is a little bit brighter, but to be honest, it is not much of a big difference right there. Apart from that, we do get a high refresh rate for both devices as well, so nothing to complain about that. Everything is super smooth and fluid on both devices right here. It's both very, very good displays. One thing I do want to point out though is the notch at the top, or the camera cutout for that matter. Sorry about that. So take a look at the one on the Mi 11 Ultra. It is actually sitting on the top left corner right there, whereas on the S21 Ultra, it is dead center in the middle. Personally, I kind of prefer the look of the camera cutout in the middle just due to my OCD, but it is not that bad either on the Mi 11 Ultra on the top left corner. Another thing I want to point out here is that during my use with the Mi 11 Ultra, I noticed that the curves here are a little bit more prominent than the one on the S21 Ultra. So whenever I'm watching videos or like taking photos and I'm holding my device like this, I do tend to actually press on the sides here of the display, not intentionally, and that actually causes me not to be able to press the camera shutter or something like that. So it's actually more prone to accidental touches on the sides, although it is, I must point out that it is very minor, but that it is still a bit more prominent compared to the ones on the S21 Ultra. So just bear that in mind. Next thing I want to talk about here very quickly is the haptics on both devices. Naturally, they both come with great vibration motors, and I must say that the vibrations here are very short, very sharp and subtle, so I love it. Both devices here comes with great haptics, so you won't have to worry about that. Haptics feedback is great here. Alright, next thing we want to talk about here actually is the cameras itself, because I think that's one of the main differentiating factor, or the main comparison between both devices right here. So naturally, I take a lot of photos, and it is a bit of a different setup compared from the Mi 11 Ultra and the S21 Ultra right here. Obviously, if you take a look here, you can see that we only have 3 sensors right here, which is made up of the main sensor, 50 megapixels, a 48 megapixel ultra wide, as well as a 48 megapixel periscope lens that allows you to zoom in. Whereas on the S21 Ultra, we do have one additional sensor here. So you do have a main 108 megapixels, which is supposed to be like super sharp. We also have a 12 megapixel wide, a 10 megapixel periscope, and another 10 megapixel telephoto depth sensor for your portrait modes. Right, so like I said, it is slightly different right here, but in terms of actual use, how is it like to take photos on a day-to-day basis? Well, here are a couple of photos that I want to show you guys. So if you take a look at these photos, I did notice that it is a bit of a different approach for both devices right here. Let's start off with the ones on the Mi 11 Ultra. It does have a slightly warmer tones compared to the cooler tones on the Samsung. Apart from that, I did notice that the colors on the Mi 11 Ultra was slightly truer to life. That was the more accurate color, I would say, that I'm seeing with my eyes compared to the Samsung S21 Ultra, which does looks a little bit more saturated. So you can really see here that the blacks on this particular photo right here, due to the additional saturations on the S21 Ultra, it looks a bit bluish. There is a slight bluish tint to the black pants and the black shirt that my buddy is actually wearing. Just a quick shout out to Lex channel. He actually helped me out a lot with this camera comparison right here. And if you want to know more about his channel, you can check it down in the description below. But yeah, back to the main point on the cameras though. There is this slight bluish tint on the black colors. So I did notice that on the S21 Ultra. So in terms of just color accuracy, I would have to say my pick right here would be the Mi 11 Ultra. The second thing I want to talk about here is that the ultra wide is also slightly that bit wider compared to the S21. So you do get a slightly wider range on the Mi 11 Ultra right there. So if you like to take a lot of ultra wide images, you might want to check out the one on the Mi 11 Ultra. Let's move on very quickly to night mode, because here it gets a bit different. So notice that once again on the Mi 11 Ultra, images are slightly warmer, whereas the ones on the S21 Ultra is a bit cooler. Well, again, I must say that the more accurate picture right here is not either one of them, but it's in the middle. If you just look at these photos side by side right here, you do notice that the ones on the Mi 11 Ultra tends to look a little bit more stylized. And in my opinion, I prefer the ones on the Mi 11 Ultra because it just looks that much more nicer and pleasing to my eyes. But again, the night images right here, it really depends on your opinion again. If you prefer a cooler kind of image, something that is not so stylized, then I would say that the S21 Ultra would be your pick for this. Alright, let's move on very quickly to the videos that I took on these both devices as well. We have a quick clip right here, which I will play for you guys to see. And you can see that, notice that again, there is this slight color comparison. It is slightly warmer again, once again on the Mi 11 Ultra and a bit bluer on the S21 Ultra. And stabilization wise, I would say that it is slightly more stable on the Mi 11 Ultra. Now, I didn't take a night video right here, but I must say that the night video taken on the Mi 11 Ultra tends to have some kind of issues where the skin tones are just messed up. So it's not very good at taking videos at night. So if you take a lot of videos at night, Mi 11 Ultra won't help you out right there. Alright guys, that is the camera comparison right there. Once again, I must say that to conclude, both devices here actually have great cameras, guys. It is one of the best, if not probably the top two in the smartphone industry right now. So you're not missing out on a lot, but I must point out one thing that I really missed on the S21 Ultra that is not available on the Mi 11 Ultra, and that is the zoom lens. Now, the zoom lens on the S21 Ultra is really crazy good, guys. I mean, if you're the kind of person who wants to stalk what your ex-girlfriend or whoever for that matter is doing, you know, this S21 Ultra here does an excellent job at zooming in all the way. How far away? I don't know. So it's really far. And take a look at this picture for instance. I mean, I wasn't purposely zooming in on this guy, but I noticed from afar, I was just looking around with my viewfinder and I found this guy sitting right there and I just happened to zoom in all the way. And guess what? I saw him wearing an Amazfit T-Rex. So yeah, it is really, really far. I don't know the exact distance of how far I am away from him, but I must say that even at that distance, I wasn't able to see the Amazfit T-Rex with my naked eye, but I could do that with the S21 Ultra. Bottom line, it has a great zoom camera. Alright, let's talk about next stuff, guys. Let's talk a little bit about performance on the day-to-day. Obviously, the Mi 11 Ultra here comes with the Snapdragon 888, whereas the S21 Ultra here comes with the Exynos 2100. In terms of benchmark scores, obviously the Snapdragon 888 scored a bit higher compared to the Samsung device over here, but benchmark scores are just benchmark scores. And in terms of day-to-day use, I must say that both devices are just top of their lines. They're both very smooth, not too much difference in terms of gaming. High graphic games run very smoothly, although it did get a little bit warmer on the Mi 11 Ultra right here, but to me that is negligible, and all in all it's pretty good. I must point out that there is a slight dimming issue on the Mi 11 Ultra as well. When I was taking too much photos, for example, or just playing too much games, the display tend to dim a little bit, so that is something that you should also know. Other than that, performance-wise, both devices here are beasts in their own categories. Alright, so moving on, let's talk a little bit about those batteries at the back here. And this is a very similar case because both devices have 5000 mAh batteries, but I would say that the Mi 11 Ultra's battery tends to drain a little bit quicker compared to the S21 Ultra. So for the S21 Ultra, I'm able to last at least 1.5 days, I would say, on a single charge. But the Mi 11 Ultra here really drains your battery when you're using those cameras or if you're gaming. So it does drain a fair bit quicker. But the good news here is that the Xiaomi did provide this 67-watt charger in the box, and I must tell you, it's crazy fast. It goes from 0 to 100 in like 39 minutes. So if you wake up in the middle of the night or next morning and you see you have like just 20%, just plug this in, take a shower, and you'll be full back up to 100% in no time. So that's what I really love about this charger right here. Alright guys, last but not least, let's talk a little bit about their speakers, because they both sound really good, and yeah, they're both stereo speakers. I must say it's a bit richer on the S21 Ultra right here. It does get a little bit louder as well, but I would say that overall audio quality coming out from the stereo speakers are very similar on both devices right here. So you're not missing out on that with either of these devices. Alright guys, done with my full experience here with both devices. Bottom line, am I happy with the Mi 11 Ultra here, and how does it stack up to the S21 Ultra? I would say that Xiaomi is really killing the game today, especially with this device right here. It is 4299, which is again 1000 ringgit cheaper than this S21 Ultra, and you're getting almost everything that this device can offer. So personally, I am very satisfied with what I'm getting for this. Obviously, if it's a bit more cheaper, say maybe 300 ringgit cheaper or USD $100 cheaper, it would be an even better bargain. But for the price, I would say that this is really a super excellent device right here. The only thing I missed about the S21 Ultra here is that zoom. You know, you can just zoom very far away and see stuff that you can't really see. It's fun to play with, but other than that, I must say that I'm pretty happy with this, and I won't be changing it to another device for some time now. Alright guys, let me know what you think about both devices here. Which one would you choose, Xiaomi or Samsung? Let me know your reasons for that as well. Again, this is not to say which device is this device is bad or something like that. It's just my personal preference that I'm really happy with the Mi 11 Ultra right here. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button if you support this kind of honest reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!